What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode and another week of the What the Puck podcast. I'm Nick. That's Gunk. Gunk, we took a week off last week. Both of us weren't feeling good, so we are back.
Yeah.
We have so much to talk about with the Rangers and Devils.
Yes, sir.
And we could start with the Rangers again because they have looked okay. Their past couple games have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
But since we last talked, they played in Utah and won 5-3. I mean, this team, and I keep saying it, feels like the Devils from last year where they keep letting up the first goal every time, and it always seems to be in the opening minutes. Like the first minute or 2 minutes, you can almost guarantee that the Rangers are going to be down 1-0, and it's always on a shot where you need a save. Always when you need a save. And they did it again against Utah. Their defense was okay for most of the game, but you can't keep giving up a goal in the opening minutes and hope that you can keep coming back because sometimes teams will just keep rolling with that. Overall, they played okay in Utah, but I mean, it feels like Utah is a much different team than the Coyotes were. Like, when you saw the Coyotes come out, they just looked lifeless. They looked dead. Utah, even though it's the same guys, look so much better. They look like they're having so much more fun. And that building is loud over there.
Oh yeah,
they got a
absolutely.
lot. They got a lot of people that are excited for that team and with how that team is doing. So I mean, it was a fun game. I mean, you came back from 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2 to win 5-3. So it was a solid win, but there was a lot of stuff that could have been worked on. And I think because the Rangers were in the middle of this point streak that they had, not much was being done because it felt like it was all working.
Yes.
But all of these teams that you were beating aren't that good. And then you see the games that you are losing recently against the good teams.
Right.
And you're just not playing up to standard. Like, cool, you can beat all these guys that are probably not going to make the playoffs or are fighting for a wild card spot. But you got to beat the guys you're going to see, too.
Right. No, absolutely.
Next game, you have the shootout win against Columbus, 1-0. Both goalies get a shutout. That was a fun game. But this team can't buy a goal.
Right. No, absolutely.
Like, Mika was stopped multiple times on breakaways in overtime and could not buy a goal. Like, I don't understand where the scoring drop is. I'm not sure if it's with this team, if it's a mental thing still. I shouldn't even be having to talk about this in January on if it's mental or not, because the game wasn't like, there was no lack of chances in the game. Every team had both teams had chances. You just couldn't score. The chances that you got, you can't put the puck in the net. And with all the talent on this team, you should be able to score.
Absolutely.
And then you found that scoring in Montreal, which, cool, you found it, but you couldn't keep it. They lead 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, and 4-3. Lose 5-4 in overtime. At least you got a point, I guess. I mean, to do that, you should have had this game in control all the way through and just won in regulation. But no, you kept giving up this bullshit every time.
And that's where the point of where you want that extra point, you really didn't want to give it up that point because Montreal is in the race with you right now. So any point you're giving them is just helping them out. So you could have came out with a 2-0 scenario for yourselves, but now you're at 2-1. You only gained 1 point in the standings. So, if you're ahead of the rest, you're ahead of the whole game and you let them tie it up, it's a loss in my book. Those kind of games are a loss. Some games you want that point, like that extra you get to overtime point. And some games, like you just described, it's just a deflating feeling when you get that.
Like,
just that
I describe it as a little stinker because you showed that you were able to keep up and you were at least looking all right. Like they didn't
Yeah.
play bad. They just didn't play good enough. So, I mean, and Montreal is good. Like they're a good
Oh
team.
yeah,
So,
really good.
I don't want to say I'm not surprised. I kind of am because you had that momentum throughout the entire game and just decided to drop it. But I think them losing that game fueled them into their next couple because then they killed the Senators. They
Yeah, I
killed them
see that.
5-0, but I mean, it would have been 7. 2 goals got taken off the board because Rempe and Kreider went offside on 2 different goals. So it realistically was 7 pucks that went into the net. 5 counted. But the puck don't fucking lie, baby. The
That's
puck
it.
don't
Nope.
lie.
The Bucks don't lie, baby.
Laffy to the AHL always works. It always
You're
works.
right.
He scored
At
like
least for at least temporarily.
for a little bit. He scored a couple goals in a couple games, so I was happy. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. And then we were talking about him when he first got picked up by the Rangers and everything. And I wasn't even sure when he was gonna play when we were first talking about this. He
Right.
came back almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Kaliev has been a super nice addition to this Rangers team. A little slow, and it kind of just slows down the rest of the line with him, Hedel, and Kreider.
Right.
But I like his game. He can rip the puck.
Yeah.
Go go back and look at the goal he scored against Ottawa. He's in the face-off dot and just rips it. So far with the Rangers, he's been a player that actually knows how to shoot the puck. He's looked pretty solid, and he's a young guy. He's only 23. He's my age. So
Well, compared to what's coming out of the Russian Federation, there was that little problem when he was drafted. How old was he exactly? So,
he's from Uzbekistan.
or it was back. Yeah,
What is-
but if you look into that story, I had seen a story about him that he was having a problem like what draft year he was coming out, and it was a. I mean, like I said, we didn't know who he was at the time, but like I said, it was a story I had just seen come across one of my things, especially because I get a lot of Rangers and Devils content on here.
Yeah, and to think that you got this player off of waivers. Like,
Yeah,
you didn't
exactly.
have to give up anything for him, and so far in 10 games, he has 2 goals and assists at 3 points, and he's a +2. I
You can't
mean,
beat that, especially the way they were going on.
with the lines just being a turnstile. So
Yeah, exactly.
I was super happy to see him come in. He's ripping the puck. He's getting opportunities. He would have had 2, but one of the goals was taken off. And then Brett Berard is never going to see NHL ice again because of this dumb motherfucking goony bastard feeling the need to become prime Sidney Crosby and scoring. Why is Matt Rempe scoring? Is that allowed?
Hey, it was a great game. It was all over everywhere, and hey, you got to give the kid credit. It was a nice little backhand he put on him. So
It's not even the fact that he scored, it's the fact that him and Edstrom tie Zdeno Chara and Dougie Hamilton as the combination of the tallest
the
players to have a goal and primary assist. At
I
like
saw that. That was
13
pretty
feet
funny.
and 6 inches or something like that, which is ridiculous. I
crazy.
didn't even know Dougie was that tall.
Oh yeah, no, he's a good 6'6". Absolutely,
Jeez.
yes.
Yeah, like I knew Chara was like 7'2" on skates or something like that, but I didn't know Dougie
Oh,
was
no,
that tall.
Oh no, he is tall. Like I said, if you see him up close and in person, like I said, we had gone down to the ice level when the game we went to, and we saw him at an ice level, and he was giant. I mean, like a huge gentleman. And also another quick story on that too, with the tallness. So the New Jersey Devils do the go around because they're sponsored by our RJ Barnabas. So they go around the holidays and visit kids in the hospital, visit people in the hospital and stuff. And unfortunately for us, we got Dougie around our area here in the North Jersey area, came to the hospital that I was attending for my broken foot. And the literally security guard was like, "Oh, that man, he was so handsome and he was so tall." And it was the great, just the way she said it was the greatest description of Dougie Hamilton I've ever heard. It was just he was so handsome and so tall. She had me rolling. I've known her for God at least 10 years, and she's such a sweetheart. And she actually retired like maybe like a couple weeks ago. So God bless to her. But yeah, her description of Dougie Hamilton was the best thing ever, and that's so funny that you brought that up with his tallness and stuff. So yeah, that was
Long-titted
a little
handsome.
quick funny story.
All right. Yeah,
But yeah,
I
like
did not realize how tall they were, and to see it put into perspective, because Rempe and Edstrom are big,
oh
like they
yeah,
are
they're huge guys.
big. So to see it put in that perspective, it was just like Jesus.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Um, so we had back-to-back murders for the Rangers. The Rangers then killed Philly. Um, I would have been fine with the Rangers losing against Philly this way, because the other team that I wanted to beat Philly decided to not. So I was just like, okay, maybe I would have been happier the other way around. But then again, I don't want to play Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I know. Trust. Yuck.
So with Philly, the Rangers let up another goal in the opening minute. I think it was like 58 seconds in. Can't be doing this. And then they got angry.
Oh, 125 in. Oh, it
Okay,
Tippett popped it in.
it was
It was
it was
125 in.
it was more than I thought. Okay, yeah, it was,
Yeah,
but it was Tippett that
125
got
in.
the goal.
Yep.
Then the Rangers get angry because they let the redhead score.
Exactly.
They couldn't even ponder the fact that Torts could potentially win this hockey game, so they decided, we're killing you. 6 unanswered goals.
Six straight.
Keandre Miller should not be scoring goals. He should not be on this team. And he has a goal and an assist. Every defenseman had a point in this game. Fox with a goal and an assist. Key goal and an assist. Borgen an assist. Lindgren an assist. Schneider a goal and Vakanainen an assist. I want to talk
Speaking
about.
of Borgen, sorry.
No,
I was gonna say, how we feel about his new deal he got with the Rangers. I mean,
why? I have
exactly.
one question. Why? The game against Colorado is the reason why Will Borgen should not have 5 years left on this team. You battle back from multiple 2-goal deficits and lose? And you lose?
With 15 seconds left to go in the game.
Because what I don't understand is, why would you leave the first power play unit that doesn't work out there for all 2 minutes? And then, when you do try to go make a change, you have Mika Zibanejad and Keandre Miller on the ice together. What are we doing? That's not a recipe for success. And I'm not sure if Igor wasn't bashing his stick against the ice as the power play was ending, but nobody must have known that the power play was ending.
Right.
Because if you knew that the power play was ending, Borgen would not have made that dumb pass across the blue line with the best defenseman in the NHL coming out of the box right there.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure if there was a lack of communication, if people were just out too long so you didn't have fresh legs to be able to make anything work, whatever. You shouldn't be making that pass with the best defenseman in the NHL in the penalty box coming out right behind you.
Right.
Because he'll make you pay, made him pay, and with this Will Borgen signing, I don't think they have enough money to pay. So, it was a good game because you showed life, but you couldn't get it done again. You had the point streak, you lost the point streak, try to build on it, and then you play Carolina. You play Carolina, and you get shut the fuck out. You lose 4-0 on home ice. You just looked uninspired. You had no heart, no drive. The same old shit. Every time with this team, you think they're starting to break through. And no. They They do this shit. They just look surprised when it happens. I think they still think that this is the team from last year and this is just a continuation of the season and oh well, we've lost some games.
Right.
Like, this is not how this works. There is no
No.
leadership in this room, no matter how much you say Trocheck is, no matter how much you say anybody else is, there's no leadership in this group. There's no leadership from the coach. There's no support from the general manager. It's all fucked throughout the entire system. There's nothing on the ice that's redeemable except for the fourth line, and that's just because Sam Carrick can score a goal.
Yep.
Your third line is okay because Kaliev is here, so he can at least play hockey.
Right.
Everything else just is kind of shit. I mean,
It just looks out of sorts. That's what it does. It
like,
looks out of sorts.
the defense needs a revamp. And you thought that getting Borgen and Vakanainen was going to do this, but guess what? Trouba's better. Trouba is better. Zach Jones is better. On offense, Brett Berard is better. Brennan Othman is better. We're gonna get Gabe Perreault. He's better. If you get a decent enough pick, but you keep on winning at this point because you think you can make the playoffs,
right?
You could get somebody like Higgins to play with Othman and Perreault. People that he knows. You could get guys. You should just start losing at this point. Like, you have so much time to continue the tank, and you are just you're just trucking along, thinking that you're going to be able to make the playoffs. You're not going to be able to. You know you're not going to be able to. Not when every other team around you is winning games. Every team that you need to have losing games is winning games.
Right.
And against good teams. The Flyers should not be beating the Devils. The amount of times I said to myself as a Rangers fan, God, I just needed the Devils to win today.
Right. No,
and it just disappoints me every time because it's just like, man, you think you're in the clear, you think you're finally starting to get a breakthrough, and then the Devils lose.
Yeah. I thought that yesterday, the other day with the Hurricanes. I was like, oh, look, I just need the Rangers to win. Let's get back up in the second. And I see it's like 1-0 before they even like start it. Really, I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it was just a shellacking, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess can't rely on the Rangers. So,
well,
let's just come out and.
You can never rely on the Rangers because the funniest part of these two games is the elephant in the room. The trade.
The trades.
Mikko Rantanen goes to Carolina.
Who
gets his first point as a Carolina Hurricane against the Rangers. Marty Necas and Jack Drury both got their first points against the Rangers. Jack Drury is doubly funny because that is our GM's nephew. So that just makes it even better. And I'm pretty sure Taylor Hall got a point too. So every fucking player got their first points on their new team against the Rangers. And I don't like saying sports are scripted because it makes you sound like a fucking moron.
I know.
This feels like it was written up in a lab somewhere. This feels like just some cruel way to fuck with me.
Oh, when I saw the stat come across, I was like, you got to be kidding me. That is hilariously funny.
There's no way, dude. What did I do to deserve this? I try to be a good person, and this is what I get. I don't understand. I went from President's Trophy to God. What is going on?
The Rangers right now are heading into what they call NHL purgatory right now.
Rebuild. Rebuild. Do the fucking rebuild you were supposed to do. What? How long ago was 2018? 7 years ago?
7 years ago, yep.
Do what you were supposed to do then now. Cool you did it fast back then. See if you can do it again now, because I doubt you can. I absolutely doubt you can. And you know what? What is JT Miller going to do to fix any of this? I have that question.
Nothing.
It's not going to do anything. The
Nope.
proposed trade that the Rangers turned down was Heedle a first and some other fucking scrub for JT Miller straight up. Go fuck yourself. What a slap in the face. How dare you?
Ugh.
Like Mika Heedle Miller and a first for Elias Pettersson is a better trade than for JT Miller.
Oh,
And whoever the
that is
unnamed prospect is, whoever the fuck the masked singer was, get on out here. Let's see who you were in your
Who is the
fucking
crab?
Gumby costume. Get out here. Let's go.
Yeah, he's Gumby
Unidentified prospect. Ooh.
it's a player to be named later, don't you know? Come on now.
Yeah, it's gonna be Zach. It was probably gonna be Zach Jones. It was probably gonna be Zach Jones, and they didn't want to do it. Come on, bro. What a joke.
That's because they didn't want to add the Rempinator. I think that's what it was. I think they wanted the Rempinator, and they were
I'm
like,
sure
no,
they wanted I'm
not.
sure they wanted the Rempire State Building in Vancouver.
Exactly.
That's what the Canucks need.
absolutely.
Matt Rempe, here you go. Maybe then we could see Brett Berard play National Hockey League hockey again, because you know what? He at least had heart. He tried. He tried well enough. I'll take it. But no, we get the Twin Towers and Sam Carrick carrying your entire season. Thanks, guys. Blow this team into the fucking sun. I don't understand it. Oh my goodness.
And then after all the points, we're still what? What are we? 3 out. These are 3 out. Like I said,
we're 3
Montreal,
out, and it still feels like an uphill battle. Everybody else in
really
front of us
does.
has gotten better.
Oh yeah.
And even then, say you do make it into the second, say you just barely get into the second wild card. You're playing the Capitals, who will fucking run your show every game this season and will sweep you like you did to them last year. If you make it into the first wild card, you're probably gonna play the Panthers, who fucking bounced you in 6 in the Eastern Conference Final and won the Cup last year. Do I believe in miracles? No. Not right now.
No, not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Because Montreal's record is 24-21-5. Same with Detroit, and almost the same with Columbus. Wow. Like, the only thing that this team has going for them right now is that they have 2 games in hand on Boston, and they play Boston twice in the next week.
Yep.
That's about it. And even then, you're probably going to lose one, if not both of them. I'm not confident. Cool, you beat them at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the month, the calendar year, but wow. Like, I'm surprised in terms of goal differential. This team is only a -3. Like, their goals for is 149. Their goals against is 152.
152.
How? I guess because the games are close enough, and you're just kind of losing 1-goal games.
Right.
So I guess it makes sense, but teams above you have worse. Boston's is -25.
24.
Boston's total team differential is about on par with Mika Zibanejad as a player. Detroit is a -13. Montreal is -18. The only green that I have within the top 7 wildcard teams that are battling for it is Tampa Bay with a +32.
And they score a lot of goals.
Yeah. Which I would love to see for the Rangers. I mean, you look at the top teams in each division. Washington +55, Carolina +31, Devils +31. It drops off a lot in the Atlantic, +18 for Florida, +8 for Toronto, +1 for Ottawa. It just keeps getting worse. The worst team is -39 in Pittsburgh, and they're even right up on you.
Right. They're still in contention, but you know,
like, the only team in the Eastern Conference that's not truly in any form of playoff contention is the Sabres.
Right.
Like, 43 points at this point, you're not going to be able to get it done.
No, even if you make a big run, you're never going to make that point differential up, especially with all these teams you would have to jump to even sniff a chance at making a playoff spot.
Like, let's look at the Western Conference. The Rangers would be 4 points out of a wild card spot and wouldn't even come close to sniffing a division still.
Oh
So
no, absolutely.
like you would then have, and these are good teams you have to try to beat out too. Colorado is in the top wild card spot. They just ran your show.
Yep.
Vancouver, they don't know what's going on with their show. Like
Nope.
Vancouver, they have their president on on an interview saying that he doesn't think that trading either one of his players is going to make the situation that they have any better.
Yeah, I have no idea what Jim
And
Rutherford was talking about. Have no clue.
Jim Rutherford to me is the NHL Jerry Jones
I
of just
can't.
what are you doing and what the fuck are you saying?
And like and the situation, like you're right now, you had just gotten back into a wild card position, and now you're gonna start talking. You're gonna start chirping now. This team, it was just about to come, try to get together, try to make us push to a playoff spot, and then it's like he just threw gasoline on this fire, which it's causing rifts through everywhere. Now it's like everyone's open for who do you want from there? Who do you want? You we're looking for we already Devils fans already set up the Triforce because we want Quinn out of there so damn bad. I think I
Yeah,
posted on
but
a
I
TikTok
don't
like
think you're
earlier in
going
the
to be
day.
able
I was
to.
like,
Could you afford them?
we can make the money work, especially now with like the cap going up in the next few years and stuff. The money wise, we couldn't make it work. You figure Hamilton by the time I think I saw a video. I think it was 2027 where Quinn was going to become an unrestricted free agent. It would Dougie would be on the last year of his contract, which is a big contract for the Devils. You have other players coming off the boards, so there is a possibility that you could fit all three of them in under the cap and not have a sniff, especially if Quinn wants to come there and if he wants to play with his brothers. So, like I
Yeah,
said,
but
this
the
whole
only
Vancouver thing is,
Luke is
I
a
mean,
restricted free agent after this year. He's
I
gonna
think
want
it's
to
fair.
try to get paid,
Mm-hmm.
and in 3 seasons, in what is that 2030? That's not a real year.
Yeah,
In a couple
no, not even.
seasons, Jack is going to be due for a contract, and he's going to want 12,
Well, he's up.
13 million
Well, he's
probably
not. He's. We still got him for at least I think maybe 4 or 5 more years at I think that 8 million spot.
after this
Because
season.
his
You have
contract.
him through 27, 28. It looks like.
Oh, that's all really. I could have
Let's.
sworn the contract was over. Like, I thought the contract was over in 29-30,
You're
but
right,
again, I could be
but
wrong.
still, that
But that's again
he's going to be 29 years old at that point.
right.
How much money are you really going to try to invest in making sure that the brothers can play together? Because
Yeah,
Quinn is even
again,
older.
right. He's a year older, so yeah. Again, I think it's gonna be more of one of those. I think it's gonna be, do they all want to play together? You know what I mean? Like,
I think
you
they
know how
do. It's
almost
just a matter of Ken Fitzgerald get it to work
mm,
without
get
blowing
it to
up
work.
everything else. Because then you
Right.
have to try to
Exactly.
move all these other guys that you want to keep. Like
Right.
if you because you still have Pesci for a while. If you want to keep
Right.
him, you'd have to think about that. Kovacevic is emerging as a fantastic defenseman.
Oh,
If you
absolutely.
want to try to keep him, if you want to try to keep the experiment with Nebich going,
Right.
which you don't even know what's going on with that, it just seems like a lot of weird pieces to try to fit in on top of any other moves that you may need to make.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, this is more of a fan fiction thing than anything. I mean, it's not like it's a reality, but it's just the way it's more the speculation of the way the situation in Vancouver is really spiraling out of control right now. For them particularly, especially in the locker room.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just a
you know,
and is it apparently it's been going on for years in Vancouver.
yeah, that's
So you're just letting this fester even more. And then to say, I don't think we're going to be able to get a fair trade out of the deal. No fucking shit. We all know that. But for you to go and say it,
Yeah,
That
it's
first round pick is going to become a second, or that second is going to become a third.
right.
Like, you're no longer going to be asking for Filipino, a better prospect. You're gonna have to take what you can get. And
Oh
if
yeah,
what you can get is just solely Mika Zibanejad, take him. Take
take
him.
yeah,
Have fun. I don't care. Because if that's what we're doing, if we're just looking for fleece mode at this point, get what you can for him.
right.
Like, you gotta get something to be able to make this work. But even then, if you show any signs of a rebuild or trying to, like, rework the team, you lose Miller, you lose Patterson, you lose Brock Besser, you lose
Mm-hmm.
Quinn Hughes. That's been the one thing people keep saying in the Canucks organization. If we restart, Quinn goes.
That's
And it doesn't even sound like it's a personal choice. It sounds like they are just going to dump him because, hey, we can't keep the old guard here. When that is a player you should be building around. You
exactly,
should be building
exactly,
around a Quinn Hughes. You should be building around Elias Patterson. Brock Besser is good,
absolutely.
but these are guys you should be building around, and you're just tearing it all down around them because two guys don't like each other and you waited too long to do anything about it.
It's crazy. It really, it's a crazy situation. I mean,
And this
like I
team won
said,
the division last year.
right? They were. I mean, they were Stanley Cup contenders going into like the playoffs last year, and like this is again, it's totally it's a flip situation where it's gone from the best of the best to like it's really is like trash right now. It's really a trash just flying down the friggin' the road, man. It's terrible, and
Yeah, it's
like I
just
said,
sad.
hearing all the situations out of Vancouver is just God. It's really sad because this team could have been good for a long time, and now it's like they're ready to tear it down before it even gets started. I mean, like I said, I don't understand it. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like the story is and it builds every day, right at like all the news stories coming out of there. It's really ridiculous.
And it's never positive. Like, maybe if it was just
Never.
like, okay, the team is going to try to work and make things work with everybody, cool, fine, sure, go for it. You're not even doing that. You're just saying, you know what? I don't even think what we're doing is going to make it better. So why are we going to do anything? So let's just make it worse.
And think
And
about it. What do you think would be the actual problem? Like that two players would be at their
I
like
mean,
each other's throats that bad.
I'm sure there are across all the teams two guys in each locker room that can't fucking stand each other.
Of
I'm
course.
sure of it. They're adults. People butt heads. Shit happens. But to let
Right.
it get to this point,
Yeah.
like,
Like I said,
this isn't Jersey Shore.
right, exactly. That's my thing. It's not a Bravo series. I mean, this is like serious sports and like what could be so bad that, like I said, yeah, there's you go in and maybe you don't catch a person's personality the right way or you just don't mix and
And,
match.
like,
But like the strife that like we got to get rid of both of these guys out of the locker room. I mean, how bad is this locker room got to be right now?
and how much does that say on the coach that you just replaced?
Yeah.
Like, how much does that say on talking? You could see in his body language, his the eye rolls, just the no expression. It's just like, what, you should be lighting these guys up
Right,
for acting
exactly.
like this. This isn't a peewee team. This is the Vancouver motherfucking Canucks.
Exactly. Yep, absolutely.
And, like, your teammates are mocking you on the bench when you're slamming your stick down and everything. It's just run up and down the lineup. You have to get rid of everybody at this point. And at that point, move the team to Quebec City and do a fucking expansion draft.
Seriously.
Like,
Like,
there shouldn't be a Vancouver Canucks anymore if that's what you're doing. You have to
not
try
the
to
way it's
blow
being
up the
run.
entire thing. Get out of here. Get real.
Yeah, seriously. Like I said, it's become a real, like I said, like a fucking drama show. It's a reality series, and again, that's not a way to run the team at all. Again, and it's I would say this if it was a bottom team, like, oh, okay, well, there's just problems, they just don't have the right culture, they don't have the right. This is the playoff. This is the team that has a playoff spot right now, and this is going on. I mean, like I said, how bad could this be? And are other players just like taking sides on this now that it's just become like
I
just
guess
a
when you've been
wedge that
around it for so long, you have no choice because you've heard so
right,
much.
right, exactly. Like I
And even
said,
then,
it's
any new guys that come in are just going to be filled in right onto it because
right.
they'll feel the tension in the room. They'll see what's going on, and it's so easy to pick up on.
That's absolutely
Because I'm not sure who started the issue. Because Miller was never really like that with the Rangers.
right.
And I'm not sure if it's Pedersen that started it, Miller that started it, but regardless, it just feels like he said, she said at this point.
Right. Then that's what it feels like. It feels like it's just like a he said, and it's like I said, like I said, I can't fathom just being in a normal working environment. Like, what can you say to somebody to make them so upset where it's like you have to split the team into two? I mean, like I said, it's one of those things, and you're still competing for like a playoff
Yeah,
spot.
and
It's
you're
not like
still doing
you're a bottom
okay.
drag. You're not a bottom drag. You're competing for a playoff spot, which just says the skill level on this team. And like I said, I just don't get it. So again, we're going to see like how this is going to play out, especially as we come up towards Four Nations. We come up to the break. I'm sure. I don't know if there's a freeze. Is there a freeze during the Four Nations for like trades or anything, or is shit going on?
Probably. That's a good question. I'm not
I would
sure, but probably.
I would say so. Just out of just out of they how they do other stuff like during the All Star break and shit like that. But I've seen trades during the All Star break, so like I said, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
like I
sure,
said,
but still, like,
the problems with this team is really bad. And like I said, it's like I said, you got like I said, JT Miller, Pedersen. There's the rumors to Buffalo. Like I said, the JT Miller was like I said, literally out the door to the Rangers, but they backed that off really quick.
thank God.
So yeah, well, for you, but like I said, I know the Devils. Like I said we're looking for somebody like that, but I really don't want to add that into my locker room right now because again,
I would
it
take it
just seems like
if you took Pedersen, that's better because you know what? He at least has
right,
talent. If you're taking
right,
JT Miller, you're just taking a 30-year-old hothead that
right,
probably isn't going to make anything better and is probably just going to start fighting with guys on the team. Because I can guarantee
right,
you, if that's how JT Miller's acting in Vancouver, he's going to act the same way in New Jersey, think he's going to get away with it. Sheldon Keefe don't play those fucking games.
no,
I
absolutely
mean,
not.
you could tell like Sheldon Keefe will just make backhanded comments toward about you during press
Oh,
conferences. And he will make
oh
sure
yeah,
that it's known that he's talking about you.
oh absolutely.
So, I mean, Vancouver is just I feel like Vancouver's in a worse spot than the Rangers. Because the
I was
Rangers, it's
thinking
just
that
kind of
too.
like
Yeah,
you can make a couple moves, get out of this, and you still have a solid locker room of guys that like each other.
right,
This,
exactly.
you have to tear up everything and still have people that fucking hate each other.
Right, and gets it. Yes, because like I said, even if you get rid of the two main components, the tension on the team that between the split is going to cause the problems after those two are gone. So it's basically like I said, it's like civil war. It's literally Vancouver. It's Vancouver civil war here right now between those two sides.
And something like this can set a team back years.
Oh
Like
yeah,
at
absolutely.
least a decade worth of money and time and effort put into this team. It's just going to all go right to garbage.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a big old damn joke.
It really is.
But the Devils have been hot and cold recently. Uh
Yes, like I said, the injury bugs hit them really bad the
yeah,
last couple
I've
of weeks and stuff.
noticed.
So,
You lost against Toronto in the Sheldon Keefe game that we talked about before we ended off last episode. And then I watched the game against Philly that Saturday after. And the
Hmm.
Devils just looked slow, uninspired. They didn't real. It seemed like they were playing down to Philly and were surprised when Philly played above them.
Right. No, absolutely. Like I said, from my perspective, like I said, that was more of a like I said, I feel again, it's sometimes just certain teams had the Devils number, and Philly so far this year came out after well before last night, just came out and played they played a Tortorella game. They played hard. They were forechecking. They were physical. They got the power play. You know, Mitchkov took the one pass on the breakaway, scored. I mean, terrible pass by Luke,
It
but
was a
again, he's been up and down this year.
it was a
So
big Meach goal.
a big Mitchkov goal. But like I said, Brink got him the 2-1. Konechny put the empty net in. It was again one of those efforts that just again, sometimes I just chalk it up to a bad game, and I just feel like they had a bad game going out of that Philly game. Like I said, they just didn't look prepared. They didn't look ready for it. And Shelly Keith did get him on them after that game,
Hmm.
which is the point of, like I said, he will backhand compliment, or backhand complain about people, right? Right in the media. So one of the things I really enjoy that he's getting this stuff out there. If somebody needs to start get a boot in their ass, he will say it through the media. If it's not getting through to the players, on at practice. I don't know how many times he's stopped practice this season that they were having a shitty practice and has called out the team on it. So like I said, the Philly game, I said I'm not really too concerned about it. Again, rivalry game, you said just came out flat. They did have the 1-0 lead in the game, but like I said, Philly just played a hard forecheck, played heavy. Like I said, got the game tied on a nice goal by Michkov. And like I said, they said Brink scored the power play goal on them. And like I said, it just again, one of those close games that the Devils are in that, like I said, you always have it's nice to know that like you always have a chance in the game still. Which last year there was games where it was 2-0 and it was like, yeah, this game's over.
Hmm.
So it's nice to see that anytime they fall back, they fall behind, that they do have a chance in coming back. So like I said, and then like I said, the Senators lost another terrible loss. Like I said, again, they're just running into these goalies that just play right up in play right to the Devils' like strength and stuff. Like I said, they always just seem like they step the game up against New Jersey. It always seems that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Uh, Congrats, I guess, to whoever Zach Ostapchuk is on his first NHL goal. That's a, I've never heard of this guy in my entire life. The only person I know on this stat line is Michael Amadio, and he got the primary assist. I don't even know who Highmore is.
Highmore. I have could be less more. Anyway,
I think that'll do it for this
yeah,
week.
that was terrible,
And
by the way.
then Zub. Shout out Artem Zub.
Well,
And
I mean, do we all know Zoob? Come on now, we all know
Zub.
the Zuber, the
I always
Zuba, the Zube, the Zoo
Zub.
Master.
And the primary assist to the sports gambling king Shane Pinto.
Oh well, he paid for his crimes. He paid his 50 games for his bet, so it's all
Yeah.
good.
So it's all
You
good.
know,
And then
anybody can have some. They can have coke in their system. Nah, you're okay.
shout out Evgeny
Eh.
Kuznetsov for all of that.
Seriously, right? Oh my gosh.
Shout out to him for being a wild human being and still somehow managing to score fucking goals.
Higher than a kite. You go, boy. So then we get down to, like I said, the last game against the Bruins. Again, Bruins, which again should have Bruins on the downcline. They're another team that just doesn't matter what moves they make, what they just can't seem to get out of their own way. I mean, this team was like an all-time wins team, an all-time points wins, and in 2 years they've gone from that to like barely sniffing the playoffs. I mean, the fall of the Boston Bruins in the last couple months has been really bad.
Yeah,
They
it
really
really
thought
needs
they
to be
were going to be.
studied.
It really needs to be studied because they have good. Their team is really good, and it's just not clicking anymore. Like
Yeah,
I don't
it
know, like
they
if it
lost
was
a lot of the
coaching,
people that were clicking. So it was just like,
yeah,
all right, I guess we're bad now, and you can't rely on Pasternak for everything.
no,
And a lot of it is defensive, and a lot of it is goaltending. You had that
right, and I
you
was
had that problem solved during the Stanley Cup final, and you traded the solution to a division rival that is doing better than you.
exactly like you said. You
So
just
Ottawa can say
like it,
thank you for all that. And yeah, they've just looked like they don't want to be there anymore. The
they really
Bruins.
don't.
And it's you should be. I mean, you have a pretty good team. You're still in a playoff spot, and they just seem like they're consistently floundering.
They really do, and like I said, it's not for the production on the ice because, like I said, they seem like they're playing. It's not like they're like standing around. They're not like just like out of it. Like they come to play, and like I said, everything's just not clicking with them right now. So I don't know what our fellow Bostonites got to be doing, but like I don't know if the trade deadline for them or like I said, I feel like it's like you were saying, the split up of the tandem. It feels like it's thrown Swayman for a loop. Maybe the money situation with the contract at the
Yeah,
beginning of the year kind of thrown it, but like there's a lot of eyes on him now because he got paid. So now it's like you know it there's no
yeah. There's nowhere
backing
for
up
you to
that.
hide anymore.
Perfect put. Yeah, there's nowhere for Swayman to hide anymore. So did they make the wrong call on which one they should have kept or not? Because there was rumors that
I
Swayman
realistically
should have
think you should have
should have
kept
went.
both of them. Like
Right,
when we were talking about Vancouver, these are guys you can build around.
right,
Like these teams have guys they can build around and are actively choosing to get rid of them and not build around them.
right,
You're not going to do anything without a decent goalie.
right. No,
At
absolutely.
minimum, Jonas Corposalo, I think plays for the Bruins. Uh,
Yes, he does.
yeah, Jonas Corposalo isn't the answer.
No,
Never to be the answer, and they think that this is the tandem that's going to get them anywhere. Absolutely not.
no, absolutely not. But it's also like I said, goalies are like NFL quarterbacks. Like once you show a little bit of promise, all the teams want you that don't have like a lot of like a Sam Darnold almost. Like Sam Darnold had a great year this year with Minnesota. Now he's going to get paid. So, Sam Darnold was a bust, and now he had one good year and he's going to get paid. It's the same thing as the goalies. You have one breakout year, during a contract year. You make your bank and you turn back into the pumpkin. So, hopefully for Boston fans, that Swayman doesn't turns back into Cinderella here and, in the next couple of years. And so,
Yeah, and then
I,
solid close game against Montreal in overtime.
good game. And again, that's what this is the game I watched the other night, and I said that Montreal it has a good chance to make this wild card.
Yeah.
They played
Oh yeah.
really really well, and like I said, this is 9 straight wins in Montreal. The first time it's ever happened. That an opponent has come into Montreal and won 9 straight games against the Canadians at the Bell Center. So congrats to the Devs on that accomplishment. You think of all the great Montreal teams throughout the years, and nobody's beaten them 9 times at home. That's pretty impressive by the Devs. So, I like that. Again, the Flyers, another Flyers game, good game. Jack Hughes played his ass off in that game. Oh man, the last 5 minutes of that game, he did not miss a shift. He was not off the ice that whole time, and just on the on the empty net goal where he just tried to hustle back and make a play and he just slid on the ice and you just see the emotion on his face. That's what Devils fans love about Jack Hughes. He may be like the skill player and he'll give you the little, he'll give you the meme of, the face and, or, a little celebration here and there. But the kid's intense. He wants to win. And that's what I love about him. I love him in those losing efforts where you can see he puts in all the effort. And it's just not the swag that he shows. It's actually he cares about this team. And I love that for this Devils team, which is why he was a great, great pick for us. I mean, I love the pick, and I love Jack Hughes, and as I'm again had to represent today wearing his jersey today. And then last night was just a trouncing, and they finally came out and looked like the team they were before the Christmas break. They came out, they were physical with the Flyers. Old Big Mac almost played 10 minutes last night. Hey, I mean, they were talking about it on the ESPN broadcast about Curtis McDermott, for the whole third period last night, just to see how many minutes he played, and he almost scored last night. He got a shot on goal, which I was very excited about because I just want my prop bet to come across that he scores at least one goal this season. I need my prop bet to come across plus 2,000, baby. Come on, I need
Oh
that. I
my
need that bank.
goodness.
Need that cheddar, man. I need that cheddar. Curtis McDermott, get me a goal. I don't make bets with the Devils, but I made this one bet just to make sure. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it one time because I have a feeling he's going to score one damn goal. And I got excited when Remke scored because I'm like, all right, if Remke can score, so can McDermott, baby. So,
I
yeah, that was
guess
fun.
you know what? I respect it.
It was fun. It was fun last night watching, the last 15 minutes of the game just to see if he could do it. Almost did it. Again, he's one of my favorite players. I know, Rangers fans don't like him either, but I don't care. Fuck him.
I always thought he was
Yeah.
fine. I never had a problem
No, I
with
know.
him.
No, I know.
It's just silly.
Yeah.
But
So,
for the
but
Devils,
yeah,
I
like
mean,
the
next
up and
game.
down. I said, hopefully, like I said, we get Markstrom back after the Four Nations. Real quick, Sam Erickson replaced Jacob Markstrom, who played last night and got pulled. So good luck to Sweden on that one.
Yeah, Erickson can't stop a beach ball. We watched him play he played in the Stadium Series game.
I remember. Yes, I did. Oh, I remember. That was another good 45 seconds in. And speaking of the captain, we all wish him well. He took a couple cross checks in the Montreal game. Nothing dirty. Nothing. Just physical battle. Something. It looks like it's an upper body injury for Nico. Sheldon Keefe did say after the Montreal game it would be day to day. He did say after last night's game now it's week to week. So we'll probably miss him, through probably the Buffalo game this week. We'll see if he's ready for Tuesday against the Penguins. They just might hold off
All right, that's
on that.
fair. I mean,
But yeah,
the the
so
the last
we're week to
remaining
week
games
with he
before the
can
Four
go.
Nations is pretty good for the Devils. It's Buffalo, Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
Vegas, Montreal again. So
Right.
you should have a solid go of it and just be able to get into the Four Nations and just get a break. I feel like that's what a lot of teams in the NHL need is just a break.
Absolutely.
So hopefully with that, we could see a bit better play from some teams.
Absolutely.
And we'll take it from there. But gang, this has been another episode and another week of the What the Fuck podcast. I've been Nick. That's been Gunk. Gunk.
Yes, sir.
We will talk next week and we will
Yes,
see
sir.
what's going on. Hopefully, I haven't exploded yet.
Keep your hockey face on, guys.
Gotta keep your hockey
Peace.
face on. Peace, baby.
Peace.